It's German.
So two pairs of parallel sides. The opposite sides are parallel. What else do we know about parallelogram? Shh, hush. What else do we know about parallelogram?
If it's opposite angles, then they're the same.
Opposite angles congruent.
Opposite sides are congruent.
I was gonna say that.
Opposite sides congruent.
And there's something about diagonals.
The diagonals are
We're
like.
missing two.
Like diagonals are bisected.
Diagonals bisect each other. You guys remember what diagonal is? Just from what we put together. Diagonals always bisect each other. That means these two are equal and these two are equal. Well, the other one that we're missing is like number 3 from yesterday, but it has to do with angles. You guys know what else we know about the angles?
The consecutive angles are supplementary.
Consecutive angles are supplementary. Yeah, so these two are the same, but these two or these two add up to 180 because they're basically same side interior. So consecutive angles are supplementary. Okay, so yesterday's assignment was about if we have a parallelogram, we know all 5 of those things are true. Today's assignment is about, well, I've got a quadrilateral, how can I tell whether it's a parallelogram? Well, by definition of parallelogram, if it has parallel sides, it's a parallelogram, but also if any of these other things is true, it's going to be a parallelogram. So if we can show, for example, that the opposite sides are the same, it has to be a parallelogram. Or if we can show that the diagonals bisect, it has to be a parallelogram. There's like 3 other kind of weird ones that also work, though, so I'll add them over here. How else can we show that this is a parallelogram? If one pair of opposite sides is congruent and parallel. So on this one, it's both opposite sides are congruent, both opposite angles are congruent. On this, it's just one pair of opposite sides is congruent and parallel. So maybe this is congruent to this, and it's parallel to that. Congruent and parallel are not the same. Parallel means it's going the same direction. So these are parallel, but they're not congruent. Anyways, another one they added, and I don't know if I should mention this one, but if you draw a diagonal and it creates 2 congruent triangles, it has to be a parallelogram. Because the opposite sides would be congruent and blah, blah, blah. All right. I'm not going to write that one down. I will write this one down though. There's also something called side angle side congruence. This is for 2 different parallelograms though, so maybe I shouldn't call this number 7. You guys remember side angle side from triangles, right? These 2 parallelograms are congruent if side angle side. Okay. Yeah, mostly it's these 6 are the important ones. That's, if you had to remember anything, that's it. So a lot of these are repeats from yesterday. This is kind of the only new one. The difference from yesterday is, yesterday we said it was a parallelogram, so the sides had to be the same. Today we're saying the sides are the same, therefore it's a parallelogram. More like that. Okay, page 266, number 1. Let's see if you guys can do this without, see how many of these you can get without your notes or the book or anything. What are 5 ways to prove that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram? Great.
2 pairs of parallel sides. Wait, give me the all 5.
Okay, I'm just going to put opposite, I know I wrote it the other way, but I'm gonna put opposite sides parallel.
Diagonals bisect each other.
Diagonals bisect each other.
Opposite angles are congruent.
Yeah, you do have to put all 5.
Opposite sides are parallel. Or you already put that.
Opposite angles are congruent. I guess we'll use a little bit of shorthand. Opposite sides are congruent.
Are you serious right
No,
now?
it's Jared.
Oh yeah, it was the chair. It was the chair.
I've never known Grant not to clean it, so.
It's true.
He was moving the chair.
It's true. Usually he does clean.
Maybe he's finally.
Shannon,
No.
you're.
He's finally feels shame. Is that what you're saying,
No, I
Shane?
don't feel
Which
shame.
is more likely, he didn't actually do it or he feels shame?
I feel no
Wait,
shame.
it's fine. You didn't actually.
There's no way he felt shame.
It's more like Shannon felt shame for her actions against humanity of being a furry.
I'm not afraid.
Don't lie to the camera, Shannon.
Alright, what did we skip here?
Executive angles are supplements.
Dude, wait. Trant.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Stop.
Shannon's gonna be a thing though, we can't curse.
Yeah, we could have Grant and.
Alright. Now, that's 5, but actually there's one more. The book didn't put the opposite sides are parallel, but if they are parallel, that is a parallelogram by definition, parallelogram. They put, what's the other one I had up there?
One pair of. I don't know.
Do you see Grant's stuff?
So we have to write that.
Yeah, go ahead and write it.
Talking to me.
Get it, get it in your brain.
Grant pretend smoke, I'm not.
Grant, write the problem down.
I did.
No, you didn't.
And or are
Did you write this down?
Oh, just kidding. Just
Wait, the
kidding.
bottom part? No, I never wrote down how to do it. The bottom part was just an
Dude.
extra.
Do you have to read this?
Fire is burning insane.
Which part?
The entire thing.
Thank you.
Or well, the thing, the part, the first part.
Thing with the part.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. Determine whether each quadrilateral must be a parallelogram. So, yes or no. If so, state the theorem that justifies your answer. So, it would be like, yes, the opposite angles are congruent, or something like that. So, on number 3, is it a parallelogram?
Yes.
Because
2 pairs of congruent, parallel sides.
opposite sides,
Oh.
what?
Parallel.
No,
Congruent.
congruent.
I forgot. I mean. Do you guys?
There is. Okay, number 5, is that a parallelogram?
Yes.
Because
So there's parallel sides. and
Parallel and-
congruent sides.
Yeah.
one pair of what?
Congruent parallel.
Opposite sides is congruent and parallel.
What would that?
That was just a noise, guys. Don't worry about it.
If you have to fart so bad, then why are you pushing?
I'm not. I'm
You have to force
just
it.
pretending, guys. It's actually not fun.
I say that we ban Grant from ever farting, and if he does, he has to go to final doctor.
How about you stop me from talking or breathing air? Stop it.
No.
Exhale.
Very good.
Can I use the restroom? I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
Trant, Daniel.
Okay, guys, one of the evens is a no. One of them is not.
I see it.
Parallel.
Here.
Okay, number 7, find the value Grant, go back. Find the value of each variable that ensures the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So what would we have to do to make to x to make this a parallelogram?
Equal to 7x minus 4.
Right, we'd have to make the opposite sides equal. So we have to do x and y though, so like two answers. So for the x's, it's 3x, this is kind of like yesterday's, 3x equals 7x minus 24. You guys know what the quickest way to solve this one is? Or what do you think I should do? Should minus the 7x. That will get your x's by themselves.
4 and then you divide by -1 instead of
Sorry.
Oh shit, I divided. So it'd be x is
With the what?
Pretty sure it wasn't that entertaining.
Grant stop.
Yeah,
It's not
again.
the lawnmower.
Okay, the y's are pretty much the same thing.
Oh my gosh, y is equal to. Oh my goodness.
Okay, number 9. So what has to be true about these angles? How can we solve for x and y on 9? How do we set up the angles on number 9?
Like 4x equals 2x plus 4.
The opposite angles are equal, yes. 5y minus 1 equals 3y plus 49. Show your work, Grant.
I will.
4x equals 2x plus 28.
Dude, this jersey's making everything so hot.
I know, right, Forrest? You are radiating heat right now. And it's not just because you're not
So
beach.
You discuss me in so many ways. Like, you don't even know.
Oh, these guys are
Go back to the
so...
spot then.
Oh, I have such a toxic friendship.
I don't think it's friendship, I think it's like female shit or whatever. It's like a shit.
Even worse.
It's like a...
Alright, you guys ready for 11? These are little tricks here. Okay, on 11, draw a quadrilateral with each characteristic that is not a parallelogram. So it's got to have two pairs of congruent angles. Could we draw a quadrilateral with two pairs of congruent angles and it not be a parallelogram?
Yes.
Well,
No.
what, I'll help you out here. What are the types of quadrilaterals that we know of that don't have parallel lines, or that are not parallelograms? Trapezoids
Oh, okay.
and kites.
Let's do a kite. This kite's right.
Alright, do either of these have two pairs, can either of these have two pairs of congruent angles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which one?
Kite.
No. Okay, the trapezoid. These top two, if the consecutive angles are congruent, that would be like if those were congruent. So, yeah, a trapezoid.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So on 12, what kind of thing would have two pairs of congruent sides but not be a parallelogram? Okay.
Trapezoid.
Two pairs of congruent sides, one pair, two pair, but it's not a parallelogram. Number 13. Something that has one pair of congruent opposite angles. Do either of these have one pair of congruent opposite angles?
Yeah.
Well, the kite actually does. Those two should be equal.
So it's kind of deep.
Kite again.
These kites are just so cool. Like, legitimately.
These two are the same. All right. Number 15. This one's a bit of a mess. It says the legs of the adjustable keyboard stand are connected at their midpoints. You guys see the picture on the right? Explain why the keyboard remains level to the floor as the stand is raised and lowered. Why would the keyboard stay parallel with the floor? What?
Because they're like diagonals bisecting each other.
Yeah. The legs of the stand are like diagonals that bisect each other. So it would make a parallelogram, and the keyboard and the floor would be like the top and bottom of the parallelogram. But basically here, let's sum it up a little bit. Diagonals bisect each other. Which keeps the keyboard parallel. Yuck. To the ground.
Let's go. Oh my goodness. I can't take it anymore.
Quickly answer, do this. Okay.
Okay, 17 we're skipping, so 19. Determine whether the given information ensures that ABCD is a parallelogram. Explain your reasoning. So it's kind of like 2 through 6. We're saying whether it's a parallelogram and why, or why not. So I probably need to draw this. On the first one, it says angle ECD is congruent to angle EAB. That'd be this one and this one. If these two angles are congruent right here, what do we know? These two angles are congruent. Yeah, alternate interior, right? So what about alternate interior angles? If they're congruent, then the lines that they're interior between must be parallel. So they're between these two lines. So these two have to be parallel. Then it says angle EDC is congruent to angle EBA. That's this angle and this angle. Those two angles are also alternate interior angles between what lines? The same lines. So yeah, these two lines would have to be parallel again. Is that enough to say that that is a parallelogram? No. All we've got is one side is parallel. One pair of opposite sides is parallel. So that's not enough. So the answer is actually no.
Let's go.
Only one pair of opposite sides has to be parallel. 21.
Shut up.
No.
No. I'm sure.
No.
No, Mom.
I'm playing Minecraft.
It's not that funny.
Okay, 21 says angle ABC is congruent to angle CDA. Where are those at? Those corners. And angle DAB and BCD. DAB, BCD. Do we have enough to say that is a parallelogram? Girls? Yes, because why? Opposite angles are congruent.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. 23. I hope you guys remember your algebra because we have not used this trick since last year. 23. Can somebody give me an equation? So we're supposed to find the value of each variable that ensures the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So can somebody give me an equation for 23?
180 equals 3x.
Huh?
Is this like?
Did you say 108?
Yeah.
So 3x plus 8y equals what?
108.
108. Now, can I solve the equation with just that? No. It's two variables. So if you have two variables, you need at least two equations. So what's another equation? 6x plus 4y what?
Plus 108.
Equals, yes. You guys hear what she said? Consecutive angles are supplementary, right? So she said 6x plus 4y plus, plus 108 equals 180. How can we clean that equation up a little bit?
Multiply the two.
Hold on. How can we clean up that second equation a little bit?
So,
Yeah, let's get rid of that dude right there.
We hate 108. Make it 7.
Okay, let me bring this guy back down here. So this was our first equation. Okay, now what were you saying?
Multiply the
oh yeah.
4y to make it 8y, so you can cross it out.
Don't you
Or
have to
the-
multiply?
double it.
No, you
Whatever.
can multiply but you're supposed to say y times 2. You know, this is
Here's 1 by 2.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
top times 2 or y negative 2.
Because it has to cancel.
Right. Good job. You guys do remember.
oh,
So if I multiply the top line by negative 2,
wait.
now when I add my lines together, what's going to happen to the y's? They will go away. This is called elimination. So y's go bye-bye. Add the x's together, get negative 9x. Negative 36. Divide by negative 9. Okay, x is 4. How do I find y?
We plug that in.
Plug 4 back in somewhere, kind of get to choose. So maybe this one, I'll use that one right there. So x is 4, so 6 times 4 is 24, plus 4y equals 72.
Minus
you know?
It was already back.
It never left.
Yeah.
Are all these this hard? Maybe. $22, yeah, looks pretty much the same as 23. Or, like, after you set it up, it's the same. So, okay, how about 25 though? How can we set that one up? Okay. What would, do you guys know what 3y should be the same thing as? What angle 3y should be the same as? 2x plus 5. They're alternate interior angles. So if those lines are going to be parallel, those need to be equal. 3y equals 2x plus 5. And what's another equation we could get out of that picture? X equals y plus 5. You guys see where you got that? X and y plus 5 are also alternate interior angles. Now, we could shift stuff around and do elimination again, but does anybody know another way we could solve this?
Substitution.
Oh wow, you guys are good. Alright. Substitution, because if x equals y plus 5, I can plug that in for the other x, turn it into y plus 5. So the top equation would become 3y equals 2 times y plus 5. Plus 5.
Oh my goodness. I cannot take it anymore.
So if I subtract 2y, I get and how do I find x? Well, look right there, nice easy one. 15 plus 5 equals x.
Don't clap, don't clap.
I'm happy when it's over.
I was like, I come back tomorrow.
You liked it and you know it.
Not tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's I get
Monday.
Are you
No.
serious right now?
Shannon has to come back.
Probably not.
summer
Probably
school.
not.
Why are you doing that? Weekend school.
Well, she got Sunday school leave on Friday. Well, you got Saturday school.
You know what would be good? A good torture for Shannon?
Sunday school.
Like surround her with whiteboards and like blank paper
And say
and no writing utensils.
if she writes on it, then
I will use my saliva.
She will use her blood.
Can't
I would
draw
rip out your
that.
tongue.
You can.
I would rip out your tongue if you did. No. She's gonna use a line with
What happens a lot of
Can I spray her with hand sanitizer?
No.
Hand sanitizer can draw, but maybe not.
Grant, for future reference, the answer to can I spray my classmates with hand sanitizer is no.
What if they brought a weapon to school, such as a knife?
I'm not sure hand sanitizer would be appropriate. in
It would
that
blind
case.
them enough so I could get over and touch them and make them drop the knife in horror.
See how it looks.
Okay, Grant, unless you're done, you need to open that back up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab a pencil.
30?
Where's my backpack? Oh. I like that one search. I can't find a pencil.
It broke inside my skin. Yeah,
I want to grab.
Good. Then I'll be here.
Bro, this book is busted. No paper. Stop.
Shannon, do some problems.
That's rude.
Girls,
She's fat shaming my dog. You're like giving your dog. She's fat. You're like, he can't run.
most your dogs are able to feel shame.
Bro, fat shaming your dogs is the best way to go to bed. For future rest.
She just called me a dog.
I was like calling you a dog.
Oh,
Okay, girls.
that's downright disrespectful about the